To discuss this, we're joined by a security analyst, Inko-Tariah Ipalibo. Hello, Inko-Tariah. Thank you so much for joining me at this time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so speaking on this, what specific measures were proposed at the African Counterterrorism Summit in Abuja, especially to address the root causes of terrorism on the continent?
Tackle poverty, inequality, social injustice, as well as setting up a regional counterterrorism center. Which, in dealing with the root cause of terrorism, you must address the 5 pillars of radical Islamic philosophy and also make conscious effort to de-radicalize the youths that have been indoctrinated over the years.
Hello, Inko, can you hear me? All right. So
yes,
now,
I can.
Yes. Now, talking about de-radicalizing, some of these militias, how do African leaders, or how will they plan to coordinate their efforts to combat terrorism and also promote development and democracy across the country?
Well, for now, the plan is to set up a regional counterterrorism center, which of course will be a difficult task because for some reasons, Nigeria is perceived to be the giant of Africa. So when you talk about a regional counterterrorism center in Africa, Nigeria is expected to play a key role. The big question is, do we have the capability to galvanize and coordinate other African nations into forming a regional counterterrorism center? The painful reality is that we do not have such capabilities. If we do, the ECOWAS under our leadership would have been a perfect organization.
All right. Now, let's stick to what you said about, setting up a counter-terrorism center, might be very difficult for Nigeria or even Africa to do. But, the leaders have one goal, they have one aim, and they plan to actually see it through. So in what ways do you think that the leaders, perceive terrorism as hindering development and democracy, and what evidence supports these assertions?
But it is not about what African leaders perceive. It is about what is happening and how it affects the continent. African countries that are plagued with the menace of terrorism have suffered a series of setbacks. You can imagine there are several. The diversion of foreign direct investments, it's there, and it's affecting the economy of the affected nations. Then the reallocation of resources that ordinarily would have been used to stimulate economic growth, which is now being diverted into fighting terrorism and rebuilding of critical infrastructures that might have been damaged as a result of terror attack. Those are things that are directly affecting African countries that are being plagued with the menace of terrorism.
All right. Well, it's everyone's hope that after this particular session, that they would actually come together and work towards implementing and seeing this goal to the end. But then, do you think that regional organizations and international partners play a supporting role for African nations, especially in the efforts to combat terrorism and address its root causes?
Yes, if you talk about playing supporting roles, they do. The international community and the regional countries, the countries within the region, they need to collaborate, they need to work together to fight terrorism, because terrorism is not just a regional problem, it's a global problem. It can commence anywhere and escalate to anywhere. So there is need for international collaboration as well as regional collaboration to fight terrorism.
Well, thank you so much, Inko-Tariah, for speaking to us on this.
Thank you.